I just sent you my email.
Thank you.
Yep,
Perfect.
there you go.
All right. And then Katie, I was just telling Larry, I was just going to sit in the background and listen if you don't mind. So I'll just go off camera for a little bit. Looking forward to the conversation.
Excellent. Sounds great. We're glad you're here, Nicole. And that is a perfect segue to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you are joining us. We are here for our weekly free AI action class, and we are currently working through the book, What Works? A comprehensive framework to change the way we approach goal setting by Tara McMullen. I'm your host and guide, Katie, and this is your weekly reminder to support the author. Our AI action class teaches AI fluency, not the book. We use the framework to practice building and using our AI workflows. And if you find the ideas in the book valuable, please read her original book. Here is the agenda that our AI action classes always follow. We take some time in the beginning to introduce the tools, the concepts, and the books that we are covering. Then we spend some time diving a little bit deeper into those tools and concepts. And then we spend the bulk of our time actually running an AI workflow and applying this information so that we can demonstrate the skill of learn by doing with AI. Then we like to come back into community to share feedback, insights, and Q&A. So let's take a look at the workshops in this series that we have been working through. We have been following a 5-step path that is rebuilding the way that we approach goal setting. So in our first workshop, we took a look at values. We created a deliverable that named the core values that should drive how we spend our time and helps us to adjust our perceptions around borrowed cultural defaults. In workshop 2, we took a look at vision. How can we build a multi-dimensional picture of how you want to feel and what you want to experience? In workshop 3, last week, we took a look at commitments. How do we replace achievement goals with present tense growth commitments that your real life can hold? And today we're taking a look at strategic priority. Choose one path up the mountain for now and be honest about what gets sequenced out. The next workshop in this series is going to be covering projects, and that's when we're going to do the full workshop wrap up. And a quick housekeeping note, I am going to be traveling for work next Thursday, so there will be no live class next Thursday. We will complete workshop 5 live the following week of June 22nd. So no class live next week. Feel free to dive into the replays on our YouTube channel of some of the other book series that we have covered in our AI action class. So let's take a look at what we're going to get into with this strategic priority here. So the goal of today's workshop is to choose a single path that will move you toward the identity you most want to embody right now. The key topics, we're going to use the mountain metaphor. So peak equals identity, path equals strategy, and there are multiple paths to the same peak. Saying yes to one path means saying later to others. And how do we protect ourselves from the validation spiral? So what we're actually going to be creating today is a strategic priority plan. This is going to be a 1-page priority statement naming the identity, the identity destination, the chosen path, the paths that we are deliberately not taking, and a 90-day protection system. And here on our screen is our illustration of our AI workflow. This is your weekly reminder that an AI workflow is very similar to a long prompt. In fact, it is a long prompt. However, a long prompt is not an AI workflow. And the reason why is because we bake some special ingredients into our AI workflow that allow us to work precisely, effectively, and productively with AI. So now we're going to move into the application portion of today's AI action class. This is where I encourage everyone to head over to our public drive that can be located at bit.ly/AI formula, all caps, all one word. At that public URL, you are going to find a folder structure of all of our AI action class prompts. You're going to want to navigate to the folder for this session's book. And as you guys are doing that, I'm going to spend a few minutes reminding us of our best practices. When we are running these AI workflows, we want to remind you to always work on your work on your real work. So find something in your real life, your real business that's a problem, a pain point, or something that you genuinely want to resolve. Don't bring theoretical examples, hypothetical examples, and we try to stay away from working with synthetic data. And one of the big reasons why is because not only can working with theoretical data be a waste of time, but when you're working with real challenges and real bottlenecks, you have an emotional stake in the outcome of what the AI is going to generate for you. And what that means is that you're going to do better quality work because you actually want this problem to go away. So the workflows that we run, we want them to be personal. We want them to be applicable to your real life and business. Remember that this is your time to learn and explore not only AI fluency, but also the concepts in the book. If your AI workflow presents you with a concept from the book that you're curious about or you want to go deeper into, simply ask your AI to tell you more. Remember that if the AI asks you questions that you can't think of answers to, we can make the emotional lift a little bit easier by asking AI to make suggestions based on what it knows about you, or it can even make suggestions based on industry best practices. There are a lot of ways that you can partner with AI to have it help fill in the blanks for you. So if you get stuck, just speak to the AI as though you were giving instructions to an in-person assistant. And I am also here to help you if you run into challenges. So let's go into our public folder here. We're going to navigate to our What Works AI action class. And today we are on workshop 4, our strategic priority plan. I'd also like to remind you that this is actually a Google Doc, not a PDF. So when you come in here to grab your work, please do your best not to edit anything in here because we want to preserve this exact context for anyone who comes after us. Now, first, let's take a closer look at the elements of this AI workflow. Whenever we read these AI workflows, I always encourage people to read the introductory paragraph so we have some sense of what it is that we're going to be doing in this session. So we are using the What Works, a comprehensive framework to change the way we approach goal setting by Tara McMullen. And we're on the 4th step in the 5-step rebuild. We are setting our strategic priority. We want to choose a single path that we will follow for a defined period of time toward the identity you most want to embody. So McMullen uses the mountain metaphor. The peak is an identity. The path is the strategy you choose to take to it. There are always multiple legitimate paths. Your role is to help me pick one for the next 90 days and to be honest about what gets sequenced out. The goal is to have a finished strategic priority plan by the time that last step is complete. So let's take a look at the steps in today's workflow. So in step 1, we're going to pull forward values, vision, and commitments. In step 2, we're going to name the mountain. In step 3, we're going to map the possible paths. In step 4, we're going to choose the path for now. In step 5, we're going to stress test and build the protection system. In step 6 is when we're going to get our final deliverable. This is going to be our strategic priority plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this entire prompt all the way up to this line that says run this workflow step by step. And today I'm in the mood to work in Codex. So on the screen, you can see OpenAI's Codex that is installed on my desktop. And this is where I'm going to run this prompt. Now I am using AI and these tool harnesses from Codex and Cowork to run an operating system on my desktop. So before I paste the prompt in, you're going to see me enter some instructions that may not be relevant for you if you are running an AI in your browser. So if you're running AI in your browser, disregard this step. read the Chief of Staff documentation and get ready to run an AI action class workflow in our personal household subfolder. Now I'm going to paste my prompt in there and I'm going to put the AI to work. And you can see up here right now, the AI is reading some context documents that are installed on my desktop. And this next step, the workflow prompt that we're going to be running is teed up. As soon as it gets done thinking about what the first task I asked it to do, it's going to run this next workflow. But essentially what I've just told the AI to do, I said, go read a document that's about me so you understand what we're doing. And I want you to file it in my household subfolder because this is personal work. I don't normally put this personal work inside my business folders. So it's reading all of the relevant information on me. It's getting up to speed on how I like to work and the rules that I have across my operations system. And then it's going to run the prompt. And today we're going to do an interesting experiment because this is connected to my operations system. I'm going to ask the AI to answer a lot of these questions on my behalf and see if it knows enough about me to effectively answer these questions. So we will probably see my AI doing a lot of thinking work today, which means we may have an opportunity for a little bit of AMA or ask me anything while the AI is thinking. So while it's thinking right now, I am happy to answer any questions for you guys that may have come up just since we kicked off the start of class. Okay, so I can see in this note right here, my AI is giving me, it says, I can see in the household's values list that includes 4 anchors that are saved in the vision map. So this is an output from a previous workshop in this series. So it already has some context related to the work that we're doing today. It's also saying I don't see workshop 1 in the project folder because I think that workshop 1 was probably evaporated into the ether of the cloud. So it doesn't have that context, but it is getting ready to reference the deliverables from previous workshops that are already in here. So we have our key inputs loaded. We've got our values compass. We've got our sovereignty, enoughness, and belonging. We've got our vision map identities, a sovereign builder, wise field builder, embodied woman, playful explorer, singer, and creative self. Our commitments charter, create room to choose, lead in integrity, honor my real identity, make room for moments of joy, protect the body that carries me. And it knows that today's workflow is our strategic priority plan. So it's already mapped out the 90-day window. So that's June 11th to September 9th. And it's running this workflow step by step. So it's saying, it's introducing itself to me. It's giving it the context. So the core idea is the peak of the mountain is the identity that you want to inhabit. The path is the strategy you choose. There are always multiple valid paths, but trying to walk all of them at once is how the validation spiral wins. Everything feels important. Every opportunity feels like proof, and capacity gets scattered. Strategic priority gives you a clean yes and makes cleaner no possible. So we're going to walk through our forward values, vision, and commitments, name the mountain, map the paths, choose the path for now, stress test and protect the path, and build the final strategic priority plan. So it says, I already have your prior workshop materials, so we won't have to start cold. Would you like a short primer on the mountain metaphor and the difference between vision, strategy, and tactics? And I'm going to say, yeah, we do want a primer because I also want to demonstrate for you how we can learn by doing with AI. So if you've run these workflows before and you don't need a primer, you can move right into the work. But when I ask for the primer, you can see that AI is giving me some context that might be important to me as an individual or a leader. So it's telling me vision is the peak. the identity or lived experience you want to move towards. In your materials, examples include sovereign builder, wise field builder, embodied woman, playful explorer, singer, creative self. Vision answers, who am I becoming? Strategy is the path up the mountain. If the peak is embodied woman, possible paths might be daily movement, sleep protection, food, nutrition, rhythm, medical data tracking, or nervous system recovery. All are legitimate. Strategy says this is the path I'm choosing for this season, and tactics are the steps on the path. The calendar blocks, the routines, the files, the appointments, the check-ins, the scripts, the tasks. Tactics answer, what do I actually do this week? The trap is trying to turn every possible path into a live path. This is where the validation spiral sneaks in. This matters, and this matters, and this matters too. Strategic priority is the practice of choosing one path for 90 days, then letting the others remain valid but sequenced out. So am I ready for step one? Yes, I'm ready for step one. Okay, pull forward values, vision, and commitments. A strategic priority is the bridge between vision and projects. Before we choose the path, we need the foundation from workshops 1 to 3. Your values, identities, commitments, and the identity that feels most urgent right now. Here's what I found in your existing materials. It's already got my values compass. It's got my vision map identities. It's got my commitments charter. So the one question that I need from you on step 1 is, of those lean into identities, which one feels most urgent right now? Urgent can mean it has been waiting longest. A life event is making it relevant, or the next move the other identities depend on. Okay, which identities? Okay, so we have, of my identities, I've got the sovereign builder, the wise field builder, the embodied woman, the playful explorer, the singer, the creative self. I'm going to go with the playful explorer. That's the one that's feeling relevant for me. So I'm going to give that to AI and say, let's lean into that one. So we've got our values foundation. Okay, the urgent identities, the playful explorer. This tells us something important. The next 90 days are not only about getting more productive or more strategic. They're about restoring aliveness, novelty, delight, wandering, beauty, and self-directed joy as part of the operating system, not as a reward after the work is finished, as infrastructure. Does that feel like the right foundation? If so, let's name the mountain. Let's name the mountain. Mount Joy. Name the mountain. McMullen's mountain metaphor starts with the peak. The peak is an identity, not an achievement. So instead of take more trips or have more fun, we're naming the identity you're climbing towards for the next 90 days. From your vision map, Playful Explorer is the self who thrifts in Austin, bikes in summer, wanders new places, and treats fun as oxygen. Yeah, it is. I like that. Let's turn that into the mountain. Yes. So it needs 4 pieces of context from me. Is the Playful Explorer definitely the peak for this season, or do you want to rename, refine it? State the peak as an identity statement. Why this identity? Why now? What would you regret if you didn't climb this mountain in the next 90 days? Whose climb is this? Yours or someone climbing with you? Wow, gosh. These are good questions. And by that, I mean also tough. So I'm going to resist the urge to ask AI to answer these questions for me. And I am going to try my best to answer this first question with a lot of context so that in the remaining steps, it will have all of that context to answer the rest of the questions for me. So yes, I feel like the Playful Explorer is definitely the peak for this season because it has taken a backseat for a very long time. Identity statement. I am a woman who enjoys joy. I am a woman who enjoys adventure. I am a woman who gives care and attention to micro moments of joy. I'm not quite sure. Give me a couple options. And this identity, why now? Because I've been burnt out and overperforming for a long time. And not only does my system need it, but I feel like I kind of deserve it. I need a few micro moments of joy to have the positive energy to sustain a continued season of work. And what would I regret if I didn't climb this mountain in the next 90 days? Well, conveniently, the next 90 days is technically summer, and summer is just a really fun time for adventure. and joy. So yes, I do think that this is mostly my climb alone. Although, because I'm married, my husband is usually the one who adventures with me. And there are certainly times that I adventure solo. So, for example, next week, I am speaking in Buffalo, New York, and then attending a CEO roundtable in San Antonio. And I will be making both of those trips alone. And by the way, I'm very excited to find out what thrift stores exist in Buffalo, New York. Okay, so I gave my AI a lot of context, and let's see where it takes us. So the Playful Explorer, here's a few identity options. Remember, I asked it to give me some choices. And so we've got, I'm a woman who treats joy, adventure, and micro moments of delight as worthy of care and attention. I'm a woman who lets herself enjoy joy, small adventures, beautiful detours, moments that do not need to justify themselves. I'm a playful explorer who gives real care and attention to adventure, novelty, beauty, and micro moments of joy. I'm a woman who makes joy part of how she lives, travels, works, and recovers. Okay, I'm going to do statement number 1, although AI recommended number 3. I like the brevity of statement number 1. Okay, so let's give it this feedback. Actually, I'm going to go with statement number 1 because I like its brevity. Can we swap that out? And I'm also illustrating that if AI gives you an output that you want to modify, simply use your plain language and ask it to make the modifications. So here, absolutely swapped. You're climbing toward the identity of a woman who treats joy, adventure, and micro moments of delight as worthy of care and attention. This identity has taken a back seat after a long season of burnout and overperforming. Your system needs joy, and you also feel that you deserve it. Now that felt judgmental. Do you think I don't deserve it, AI? But summer gives this identity a natural opening, more movement, more travel, more adventure energy, and built-in opportunities for solo exploration and shared adventure with Joel. If you did not climb this mountain in the next 90 days, you would regret letting another summer become only a work season instead of a season with delight. Mostly my climb. Joel's a frequent adventure companion. Yes, let's map the possible paths. Okay, we've got the travel detour path. Small adventures into trips you're already taking. I like that. Micro joy daily path. Make joy a tiny daily ritual. One song, one beautiful object, one tiny scenic route, one special coffee, one 10-minute detour, one moment that counts, even when nothing is finished. The summer adventure calendar path. Ooh, put actual summer joy on the calendar. Bike rides, thrift trips, short drives, local wandering, music, day trips, planned solo adventures. The creative singer reclamation path. Use music and creative expression as the main route back to aliveness. Beauty and treasure hunting. Treat thrifting, collecting, styling, browsing, and noticing beautiful objects as the path. Less shopping, more playful attention and aesthetic exploration. And I kind of want to go with a hybrid between 3 and 5. Oh, I'm supposed to pick 3 to 5 paths? For each path, which 3 to 5 paths feel real to you? Keep mine, rename them, or add others. For each path, what dominant activity does it require? Planning, wandering, singing, biking, noticing, scheduling. For each path, what is the rough time to meaningful progress? Days, weeks, months? What do you know personally or publicly who walks that path well? Who do you know personally or publicly who walks that path well? What does it seem to cost them? Ooh, yikes. This book is really good at asking tough questions. Man, I feel like I want to land somewhere of a hybrid between 3 and 5. I like the idea of summer adventures like bike rides, thrift trips, short drives, local wanderings, because it's a mix of a bunch of different activities that can be done. But I also like the soothing, the soothingness, I'm pretty sure that's not a word, of noticing beautiful objects. And I also know that my calendar probably won't allow a daily adventure. And in some cases, maybe not even a weekly adventure, but I like that it can be something as small as noticing beautiful objects. So, yeah, so that's why I like 3 and 5, a hybrid of 3 and 5. 3 gives me a lot of different actions that I can take. And in 5, it can make the action as small as noticing something. So for each path, the rough time to meaningful progress. I'm not sure I understand this question. I feel like I could make meaningful progress this afternoon just by looking at beautiful things on Pinterest or having a walk around the driveway. Who do I know personally or publicly who walks that path well? 2 women immediately come to mind. One is a massage therapist that I worked with who was always incredibly present and always in tune with her body. I aspire to that level of self-knowing and self-identity, confidence. I'm not quite sure what the word is there. And another one is a woman who has healed her nervous system to the point that she is incredibly resilient, and stress and triggers just don't trip her up as much as they did before she had achieved this level of nervous system healing. So both of them seem to walk this well, although what does it cost them? I think that both of them are incredibly disciplined and have to compromise things in order to achieve that level of self-identity. And I'm not sure that I have that discipline. Let's see what AI thinks about this microtherapy session here. Okay. Time to meaningful progress. Question is a little clunky because the identity is not like build a website or grow a pipeline. For this mountain, meaningful progress can happen almost immediately. The better question is probably how soon would this path help your nervous system and identity believe, oh, this counts, I'm becoming her? Oh, okay, that's a way better question. Here's the map I would use. Path 1, summer adventure calendar. Dominant activity, planning and protecting small adventures, bike rides, thrift trips, short drives, local wandering, music, day trips, solo travel detours. Time to meaningful progress, days to weeks. The first adventure counts immediately. Best for making joy visible and protected instead of hoping it happens around work. Cost requires calendar protection. Beauty and treasure hunting. This is noticing, browsing, thrifting, saving, visual inspiration. Time to meaningful progress, immediate. Best for making delight small enough to access even when time and energy are limited. Cost requires letting smallness count. That is a hard thing for me, letting smallness count. The discipline here is not intensity, it is attention. Okay, well, that reframe is helpful. The travel detour path. Adding one playful local detour, immediate to weeks, best for reclaiming work travel as life, not only logistics. Cost requires leaving little margin in travel days and resisting the urge to make every unscheduled pocket into catch-up time. That is also a challenge for me. Embodied presence path. Let's just look at what each one of these is going to cost me, and then I'll choose. Right? Okay, so this one, what's this one going to cost me? This requires emotional permission, possibly privacy protection from self-judgment. No, the singer, no, that one, that's not a weakness for me at the moment. The embodied presence path, that's going to cost discipline and trade-offs. It may be a powerful supporting path, but it might be too heavy to make the main path if playful is the peak. Playful is the peak, so that one's out. A travel detour. This requires leaving a little margin in travel days and resisting the urge to make every unscheduled pocket. I think I've already failed that for my Buffalo trip, so maybe that one is out. So that means that we've got path 1 and 2. Do I want to pay the cost of letting smallness count? The discipline is not intensity, it is attention. Or do we want to do the cost of calendar production, saying no to some work expansion and accepting that the adventure does not have to be impressive to count? Oh, that's a good choice. Let's go with this one because I want to move my class along and I don't want to wrestle with path 1 at the moment. So We're going to go with path 2, beauty and treasure hunting. Okay. Now you can probably also see that at this point of the workflow, I've given AI a lot of really valuable context. So we've chosen path 2, beauty and treasure hunting, and now we need to choose the path for now. We're going to pick one path for the next 90 days. The other paths remain valid. We're just saying later. So a few questions. Does this fit your current capacity? Yes. Which commitments does it activate most clearly? Make room for moments of joy, honor my real identity, and protect the body that carries me. Does this path have the lowest tax on your values? Would you regret not trying this path in the next 90 days? So I'm going to give AI some feedback on this. I like path 2, beauty and treasure hunting, because it feels achievable. I also like path 1, but it feels less achievable right now because I'm not sure that I'm capable of paying the cost of calendar protection and saying no to work expansion. Is there a way that we can dial up path 2, beauty and treasure hunting, so that it still feels like a reach, but it's not as big as path 1? Does that make sense? What do you recommend? Okay. We can also, like I said, there's an example of, we can ask AI, like, how do you think I should approach this? Right? So AI here is giving me a recommendation. So choosing beauty and treasure hunting as the main path and dialing it up with a light adventure layer, not a full summer adventure calendar, because that asks for a level of calendar protection you already know may be too expensive right now. But also not passive noticing because you want it to feel like a real climb. So beauty and treasure hunting with field trips. Okay, now I feel like, what is that child story about? Now this is just right. You know, she tried the Big Bear's bed and this one's just right. Beauty and treasure hunting with field trips. So the unit sizes become tiny, small, medium, large. That gives you reach without making the entire strategy depend on future Katie will suddenly become excellent at guarding Saturdays. Okay, path 2 is a strategic priority. Okay. Yep, that's the right 90-day path. Let's proceed. Okay. Our trade-off statement, right? I'm afraid to read the trade-off statement. This path requires you to treat beauty, delight, and aesthetic attention as real inputs, not scraps. Eek. It asks for tiny beauty reps at least 3 days per week, plus an intentional field trip every 2 weeks when possible. Thrift shop, local wander, beautiful coffee shop, scenic route, buffalo treasure hunt, San Antonio detour, bike ride, or a short drive. It makes possible a summer where joy is not delayed until work is under control. It gives the playful explorer a concrete route back into your life without requiring a dramatic schedule overhaul. It costs attention, a little margin, and the humility to let smallness count. It may also cost a few default work expansion moments. The email you do not answer during the thrift shop. Okay, it's reading my mail. It knows that I do business in the thrift shop. I absolutely was the person in Austin the other day that had my laptop open when a customer made an order so that I could order it from the road. The extra polish, you defer, so the scenic route gets 10 minutes. The Saturday morning, you do not automatically donate to the business. It asks you to sequence out for now the more ambitious summer adventure calendar, big protected adventures, frequent day trips, and highly planned recreation blocks. This path remains valid, but it is not the main climb. If this is the path, let's stress test it. This is the path. Okay. And if you remember, step 6 is our final deliverable, and we are currently on step 5 of step 6. So this is saying we need to stress test and build the protection system. So this path is only as durable as the system that protects it. The world will keep offering other paths, productive paths, impressive paths, urgent paths, useful paths, even genuinely aligned paths. The protection system keeps beauty and treasure hunting with field trips from disappearing the minute work gets loud. So it's asking me for 4 pieces of context. And I know that AI can probably answer these questions for me. So let's have it do that. Answer these questions based on what you know about me. I've already given you a lot of context in this thread, and you have access to my entire operations system. So How do you think I could get lured off this path in the next 90 days? Okay, now AI is going to bring the skeletons out of my closet. Here we go. Based on what I know about you, here's what's going to happen: work expansion disguised as alignment. Your work is genuinely meaningful, energizing, and strategically real. So the danger is not bad opportunities. It's good opportunities that quietly annex every margin, right? Here's how it shows up. This would be amazing if we built it now. Why it threatens the path. Beauty and treasure hunting require tiny pockets of unclaimed attention. Work expansion eats those first. The useful, impressive version of Katie taking the wheel. Your vision map names this directly. The risk of letting only the useful, impressive, public-facing Katie enter the room. The playful explorer is more private, less monetizable, less strategic on the surface. So this path requires you to let delight matter before it has proven ROI. Calendar scarcity and travel compression, right? The field trip layer depends on margin. Even 30 minutes counts, but it has to be protected before the day closes around it, right? So now I'll put Niagara Falls and a thrift store in the Niagara Falls neighborhood on the calendar for next week's adventure. The 80% rule collapsing under polish pressure. Just one more pass. Nope. Okay, so we're going to show the not just one more pass thing right now, and we're going to ask AI to move on. We're going to say, yes, this looks good. I mean, is this me like emotionally abandoning myself because I'm not reading all of the ways that I could sabotage this and I'm just going into the final deliverable? I don't know. It's probably a question for my therapist. But we're going to resist the urge to over polish this. Yes. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to resist the urge to over polish this and tell you that, yes, I think it looks great. So that brings us to our final deliverable. Let's see. Let's see if AI finds this as witty as I do. Okay, so we've got our strategic priority plan, the mountain, the paths considered, the path chosen, the paths that are sequenced out for now. Here is our protection system, our known temptations, our accountability partners, our drift signals, our recovery moves, and our check-in date in September. So this concludes workshop 4. And it's asking me if I want to make any changes. No, this looks great. Bake this into the human operating system layer of my operation system in the personal household files so that you can help hold me accountable to this and we can document my progress. Okay, so now I've turned this deliverable back over to AI, and instead of turning this into an HTML deliverable file that I can save on my computer, I'm just asking my operations system to consume this and know this about me so that as we do future AI action classes, it will draw upon the information that we've fed into the system. So I'm going to bring us back together into a community here for a moment so that you guys can share your insights, your feedback, and any questions that might have come up for you.
One thing that came up in mine I thought was very interesting. Let me go back to it. It said, you're not just one person. You're a visual storyteller. You're a business operator. You're a husband. You're an investor. You're a learner. You want to be healthy and happy. So it asked me to pick actually 3 of those out of the 5. And that's what we're doing right now. We're going through that and drilling down. And it's really kind of amazing how much information it already knows about you. That's really what's pretty amazing, because it knows when I'm fluffy and when I'm being serious.
Yeah. Yeah, it is incredible how much it knows about you. Which are you running it in a browser window or are you running it on your desktop, Larry?
I'm running it on my desktop in Claude, using Claude.
Okay.
And I'm on the pro plan.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Good to hear it. Are you using it in Cowork or are you using it in chat?
I'm using it in chat right now, but I've been doing my projects in Cowork and I absolutely positively love it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Very cool. Very cool.
I did a statement of work for a vendor that's working with me on some rent homes, and stuff that would have taken me 2 or 3 hours, I did literally in less than 20 minutes, and it was phenomenally well done.
Excellent. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. You might want to consider joining the Agent Builder Sprint. Have you gotten a chance to talk to Donna about that yet?
We are talking about that after this call, as a matter of fact, because I buzzed in on your call earlier, so forgive me. But yes, I definitely will. And Nicole, I'm going to send you those books in a minute, but I want to kind of prep them, a little bit of backstory before you get them. Okay.
Excellent.
But this has been amazing for a couple of reasons for me. Number one, it's increased my prompting skills and my thought process around prompting skills. I know this is hard for people to admit, but I'm very ADHD. I've been in tech all my life, and if it's not shining, flashing, or something, I'm not interested. And it tends to die of my interest really quickly, So the whole sitting in class was really hard for me. But this is really interesting from the standpoint that it's kind of exponential. You can always get better and better and better at it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. And I feel the same way, Larry. And it's a little bit ironic. I mean, AI is supposed to be improving our productivity and compressing our work time, which it totally does. But another unanticipated outcome that kind of blindsided me is that now I'm working more and longer because I'm more engaged in the work.
Yes, I totally.
I know. I'm like, I got to get away from the computer right now. I got to get up. I got to go. I got to shut this down.
Yep. No.
But it is definitely, the most joyful and engaged that I've felt in my work in a very long time. So that is the silver lining to, working 12 hours a day. With that, we are at the top of the hour. A friendly reminder, no class next week. I will be on the road, and we will pick up our workshop number 5 in this series the week of June 22nd. So you guys have a great week, and I will see you then.
Thank you for your time.
Yep. Thanks, Larry. Bye-bye.